Love is a strange thing. Sometimes it blinds you so completely that even the truth staring you in the face seems blurry. And when that veil finally lifts, the heart trembles as if shaken by an earthquake. My name is Hurain. I had fallen in love with Wakar, with all my heart, with all my soul, perhaps even more than I loved myself. Wakar wasn't just my husband, he was the answer to my prayers. He spoke gently, cared for the smallest of my needs, and kissed my forehead every morning before leaving for work. But the truth is, some men don't know how to love. They know how to buy love, and when they find love being sold for less somewhere else, they leave their old shop, no matter how precious it once was. In the third year of our marriage, I had my first suspicion. He started hiding his phone, speaking in low tones in other rooms. He'd smile while texting at night, and when I asked, he'd laugh and say, "It's just work stuff, love. Don't be so suspicious." But suspicion is both a woman's weapon and her wound. I didn't say anything that day. I just made a decision. I would stay silent and watch. I would find out how far this betrayal would go. My silence made him fearless. He thought I was naive. That blind love had stopped me from seeing the truth. But Wakar forgot that when a woman goes quiet, she does one of two things. Either she endures or she prepares. I was preparing. I started taking screenshots of his chats. I saved his locations. But most importantly, I began strengthening myself. I revived my old dreams, gave time to my hobbies, reconnected with friends. I started pouring back into myself the love I had once showered on Wakar. One day, I noticed a contact on his phone. Aisha meeting. I knew Aisha wasn't a client. She was the reality behind those meetings. That night he came home late. I looked at his face closely. He wasn't guilty, not even nervous. He was unusually cheerful. "What's up, Wakar? You seem really happy today," I asked gently. He laughed. "Just working on a new project. Seems promising." If only he knew that the project he was excited about was Aisha. Inside me, a woman was crying, the one who loved Wakar. But alongside her, another woman had awakened, one who had learned to love herself. I collected every bit of proof of his meetings, pictures, chats, call logs, and one day, while he was in the shower, I found a receipt in his shirt pocket. Dinner for two at an expensive restaurant. My lips smiled, my heart burned, but my eyes stayed silent. I knew I wouldn't lose this game. I would give him a punishment he would remember for a lifetime. That night, I changed the ambiance of our room. Fragrance, soft lights, silk nightwear, the one he used to adore. When he came in, I greeted him with a shy smile. "You look stunning tonight," he said, drawing close. "Sometimes a woman has to remind you that she's still the one you fell in love with," I whispered. Wakar thought I was still clueless. He pulled me into his arms. That night we were close, physically, but my soul had drifted far, far away from him. After that, I made another decision. I would play this game too, but by my own rules. I contacted Faizan, an old university friend, now a successful businessman. I invited him for coffee. We talked, we laughed, and in his eyes, I saw the sparkle that Wakar had stolen from mine. I knew Wakar would feel the sting. I was just waiting for the right moment. One night, I left Faizan's message open on my phone on purpose. "You looked beautiful today, like the old Hurain has returned." Wakar saw the message. He said nothing. But for the first time, I saw pain in his eyes, the very pain I had waited for. From the next day, Wakar started paying attention to me again. Suddenly, he wanted to spend time with me, started remembering my preferences, and most notably, he now always kept his phone locked. I laughed, quietly, to myself. Now, the game was fair. He didn't want to lose me, but I had already lost him long ago. One evening I said to him, "Let's go out somewhere, like we used to." He seemed surprised, but agreed quickly. We went to a beautiful spot, the same place where he had proposed to me before our wedding. He held my hand, looked into my eyes, and said, "Harain, I think we can start over. I still love you." I looked into his eyes and gently said, "Love? That died long ago, Wakar. Now all that's left is the ash of betrayal, from which you want to dig out something real for me." He froze. I smiled, let go of his hand, and said, "The second part is yet to come, Wakar. You played your game, and I watched in silence. Now it's your turn to watch, because when a woman responds, she doesn't just answer with words, she changes destinies." That night, Wakar silently kept looking at my face. For the first time, there was a reflection of guilt in his eyes, but I knew it wasn't the kind that rises from the heart. It was the panic born from the fear of losing something he thought belonged to him. The next morning, he insisted on making breakfast, complimented my clothes, and tried to revive memories of our old, love-filled days through our old photographs. But I was no longer the same Harain, who used to forget everything with a single smile of his. I had started distancing myself from Wakar, and along with him, I began burying his promises, his vows, and our old love deep in my heart. I resumed freelancing. Writing had been my passion since childhood, and now it became a source of income. In the evenings, I would go to a library where I was fully immersed in my dreams. The same Harain who once revolved around Wakar was now the center of her own world. One day, Aisha's call came while I was present. Wakar immediately hung up. I didn't say anything. I just sipped my tea and smiled as I asked, "Is everything okay?" "You ended the call quite fast." He looked flustered, then quickly replied, "Oh, just an old colleague. Must have called by mistake." Yeah, mistakes can create relationships, and they can break them too. My words drained the color from his face. Then came the day when I played my final card. I told Wakar I wanted to visit my mother for a few days. He immediately agreed, perhaps happy that I'd be away, and he could enjoy his meetings freely. The next day, I left, but I didn't go to my mother's house. I stayed at a hotel, still in the city, but unknown to him. I started tracking his movements, his comings and goings, his calls, his location. In just 3 days, he met Aisha 8 times. One night, they even shared the same hotel, the one he used to take me to. I took photos, recorded videos, everything that could legally strengthen a woman's case. On the fourth day, I returned home. He was surprised, but happy. Perhaps he thought his vacation was over. That night, I spoke to him with a beautiful calmness. We ate together, laughed a little, and finally I said, "Wakar, we're going to court tomorrow." "Court? For what?" he asked in shock. "For divorce," I replied gently. The color drained from his face. "Harain, please, have you gone mad? We can fix everything. I, I'll change. I made a mistake, but I love you." I calmly looked into his eyes and said, "Love is something that gives respect, not betrayal. And the day you lied to me for the first time, my love died." In court, everything was presented, the chats, videos, receipts. The case was settled within a week. I didn't ask for any financial compensation, just freedom and dignity. Wakar stood outside the courtroom, watching me with empty eyes, as if trying to understand something. I walked up to him and said, "I was never weak, just silent, and you thought I was naive. But every woman wakes up one day, and when she does, she doesn't just leave the bed. She leaves the betrayal, the pain, and the sorrow behind, too. After the divorce, life took a new direction for me. I turned my stories into novels, became part of web series projects. My writings reflected pain, truth, love, and self-respect. and people began to love that. The pain I had endured became my strength. Faizan expressed his desire to hold my hand. He said, Hurain, you're no longer the woman who lived under Wakar's shadow. You're now the light itself. I want to live my life in your light. I replied, I no longer live under someone's shade. I live in my own light. If you wish to walk with me, you'll have to walk beside me, not behind me. He smiled and said, That's exactly what I want, to walk alongside you. Before the end, just one thing. Love is not just a word, it's an action. And when that action becomes tainted with lies, betrayal, and disloyalty, it's no longer love, just a habit. And if a woman breaks free from that habit, she finds herself. If you ever face betrayal, stay silent, but don't stay unaware. And when the time comes, rise to a place where love is proud of you, not a source of shame. If you liked this story, don't forget to subscribe to my channel, Story Pendle.